tow truck at I-70, postal 3001. Alright, on my way.
Lights, flash, cameras roll, truth on the line. From breaking news to the morning headline, when the tones drop and the story ignites, we stand between chaos and public insight. Voices steady, facts first, under pressure we perform. Through smoke, sirens in the storm. Montgomery County, trusted, clear and strong. Public information, this is our song.
UT en route to 3001 by 70.
Lovely. Thank you for that. Yeah, so a FTO stands for Field Training Officer, and one of our many duties is the training of our paramedics. We take this duty very seriously, and we hold ourselves very accountable for our actions. One of the things that we'll do when training is we have a slideshow that we like to show them, which will explain the basics. So this slideshow basically will just explain how they are to drive. It explains how they're going to handle certain situations. Currently, our divisional chief is working on another slideshow to explain to them certain situations where they'll have to respond. So as of right now, it's not fully finished, but that's the basics of it. We have then we have a checklist that we have to complete. This is a very long checklist. Ensures that all of our EMTs and paramedics are highly trained and that they will be able to respond to any situation they need. Then we have them do a driver training record, which will for driving the ambulance. Then once they finish all that, they will be fully integrated within the EMS team and they will be full-fledged paramedics.
Okay, I'm back. Just what's his face when to talk to me, so we're good.
So, as of right now, the entrance process for becoming an FTO is fairly simple. You must already have your driver certification and you must already be a certified EMT. This means you must have completed every step in the training process by completing your checklist as well as your driving checklist. And then after that, you are permitted to DM or message a operations lieutenant or the captain of the EMS program, who will then provide you with a entrance exam, I believe, or they will provide you with a training operation, or not training operation, a training program where you will be able to do a certain amount of tasks as an FTO before becoming a fully fledged FTO. Are there any calls pending? There is. For the sake of the day in the life, I will be running the AMBO. Okay, so there is a call 400. It is recent, so. All right, are you gonna record the drive? Okay. Okay, so we at Montgomery Fire Rescue carry two very important tools on us. If you want to come on this house, I will be glad to demonstrate. So, as an EMS, you are going to be supplied with a AED or EKG. This machine, you are able to apply padding, or not padding and cables to a patient, which will be able to not only read out your vitals, but also shock them if they are going into a cardiac attack or any sort of heart problem. The next thing that we have is our life. The next thing that we have is our life pack. This holds all of our basic tools. It holds our syringes, bandages, gauze, disinfectants, and gloves. This will be your main tool using as the EMS, and everything else should be inside your truck, such as blood transfusion equipment, pumping, and IV. Oh, lag. All right, you in?
Question.
Yeah. What's up?
Am I allowed to drive this?
Are you whitelisted?
I'm not.
Then yeah, it's not against the rules. But if you are whitelisted, we don't usually drive that since it's not really profound. I don't know. You can if you want to, but we don't usually.
I'm not whitelisted.
Okay. Do you want to be whitelisted?
Yeah,
Okay. Are you in the main Discord?
I am.
Okay. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna join the FD department Discord through the main Discord, and then you're going to complete an application to join the EMS team. This application is about 12 questions. It's fairly easy if you've been on EMT long enough. You aren't required to have in real life experience, but if you've been on EMT or know the basics, you should pass.
Alright, I will fill those.
All right, lovely. Goodbye. All right. It looks like we have a call right now. It looks like we have a call right around the corner. Alright. You gonna record this?
Show me what traffic stop.
Alright.
Hellcat SRT. I'm gonna be on I-70, postal 3001. The license plate is gonna be OB7EWF. Can I get 132 to my location?
Patient is conscious.
Yeah.
Patient has a stable rhythm and is breathing normally. BP is... Hello? What just happened? Why am I bugged? What? No.
Right away, what was that? Just
There we go. One moment.
219, repeat.
Alright. Back to what I was saying. Alright. So, at any scene, the first thing that I will get is I will be taking their vitals. I'll be using the EKG to my right here, and then I will test their blood pressure, their heart rate, and their breathing. In the EMS team, we have the saying called follow your ABCs: airway, breathing, and circulation. So the first step in the first step in helping a patient is making sure that they are breathing, making sure that they have a pulse, and making sure that their blood pressure is not low or high. This is important because we can determine how much blood they've lost or if they have any underlying heart conditions that we need to worry about. If they are at a stable, if their vitals are all stable, we can get them ready for transport. If their vitals are not stable, we need to figure out what's causing those unstable vitals. This could be a injury, this could be a condition, or this could be a lack of food, water, or medicine that they might have taken. So, this person's vitals are normal, they're within normal parameters, so I'm going to go grab my medical bag and look for any outlying wounds that they might have.
stretcher?
No, I'm good. This is a day in the life video, so we're doing some training stuff, right?
Down to the motel, postal 1015. I got a...
Like I said earlier, this medical bag holds all of our important equipment that will help us with injuries and whatnot. So, once you've gotten the bag, after you've determined their vitals, now you're going to inspect them for any injuries. Since he just came out of a fire, we can expect burns, we can expect smoke inhalation, and we can expect possible head injuries from falling or too much inhalation. Right now, it looks like he's going to have burns on his left leg, so I'm going to apply Neosporin, and I'm going to wrap it in a bandage. Once you have determined that they are, their vitals are fine and they have all of their visible injuries helped with, then you're going to pack up and you're going to get ready for transport.
323, can I get time 2 additionals to Ultra 2000?
We use these stretchers to transport since they are simple and easy. And so once you've picked up all of the equipment, you're going to grab the stretcher, get them on the stretcher, and then you're going to transport them to the hospital. We will radio ahead. So in this case, I'm going to radio now. I'm going to say, Rescue 1, show me transporting to the city hospital.
Call 19, show me 10-6.
Since this patient is not in immediate danger and is not in an emergency, I'm going code 2, meaning I just have my lights on, no sirens, and I'm able to just pass through interception disease. We would give them the current vitals. Typically in an ambulance, there's going to be two EMTs. One person will be in the back of the patient monitoring them, and the other will be the driver. So once we've arrived at the hospital, before we arrive at the hospital, the person in the back monitoring will be not transferring. We'll be giving information to the hospital about the condition of the patient. So it could be anything from their vitals to their injuries and to
Can I get an additional
our
32
estimated time of
Fairfield
arrival.
gas, postal 2000?
1219, show me en route to the,
With that, the hospital will
32.
handle their intake and make sure that any underlying conditions are dealt with.
I'm gonna be at a 1080 with a red and colored.
When we get here, we're going to give them the extent to their injuries. So for this patient, we would have walked in, told them their vitals, and then we would have said if they were conscious or unconscious. Then we would have told them what the wound is. For this case, it would have been a burn and smoke inhalation. And they would have then used that information to get the doctors with the correct, what is it?
1219, let's answer to that call.
They'll put them in
323,
the
let's
emergency room.
switch to
They'll be
LEO primary for the
hopefully
EMT.
dealt with later. Then from then on, the EMTs will be signed out of the hospital, and then we'll go back on duty, or we'll head back to our station. The general paperwork isn't all awful. The usual paperwork that you'll, as an EMT, will have to do is a report, which will consist of the location of the incident, the incident number, which you'll get once you arrive on scene, the type of injury, the type of trauma it is, so it could be anything from a fall to a burn to smoke inhalation to a stab wound. Then after that, you will provide the amount of victims there are, the amount that were transported, and the amount that had unfortunately died on the scene. What'd you say? For a FTO, the typical you'll wake up, you'll go on duty as EMT, and you'll do your normal duties until eventually you will have a person who requests a training, or you'll meet someone who you think could be trained. You'll tell them to do an application. Then your training will look like your training will be simple. Then after that, the paperwork for us is just simple documentation for the chiefs to go ahead and do a department log. After that, we're going to fill out their packets, like I mentioned earlier. They get 2 packets, driver packet and their EMT packet. It's pretty simple. You're pretty much going to give your signature. You're going to mark down if they pass or fail. You're going to mark down what they did to pass or fail. You're going to give any notes or comments that you might have. Also, your amount of time they drive or the amount of time that they did their duties for. What, in the day in the life? So, after transporting a patient to the hospital, you'll be signed out by the hospital staff. Once you give them all the information for your visit, you'll get everything back in your vehicle, make sure everything is back in the proper place. You will get back in your vehicle, turn off your lights, turn off any sirens that you might have had. Sirens should be automatically turned off. You will pull out, either do a UE here or just go straight. Then you'll either go to another call or you'll head back to the station if no other calls are active. So as of right now, there are no other calls active, so I'm going to just drive myself all the way back to the station. Let's see.
Dark red and color. Plate unit reading 3 Victor 5511. Repeat plate unit reading 3 Victor 5511.
So, listening to DOT is important because we need to know if a road needs to be blocked off for construction or if there needs to be any sort of help from them if there is a vehicle collision or anything. This will help us know our route to get to an emergency or know how many injuries there might be at a scene if they're the first ones to arrive. We need to listen to our law enforcement because they're the ones who also keep us safe when we're on dangerous scenes. They will let us know if we're on scene when we're allowed to move in to emit care, and they will also let us know how many people are injured at a scene if we're not already there. So, once you've arrived back at the station, typically the EMT will either sit in their car and wait for the next call, or they'll go into our lovely break room over here and rest or do paperwork on the computer. The fly car, the Sprinter? Yeah. Okay. So the fly car is used by any and all EMTs who need to be transporting patients to and from the hospital. The squad car or the Sprinter is usually used for when there are a fully staffed ambulance and when there are not enough staff to be inside of a second ambulance. We typically have 2 to 3 members inside of any ambulance before we staff another one. So if there are 3 people or 4 people and there are currently 3 units inside of one ambulance, the 4th person is permitted to use the squad car because there's not enough staff to do another car. The ambulance has every tool that you're going to need from a stretcher all the way to a pump, while a squad car may only have basic tools such as the medical bag and the AED. So dispatch may get information from a LEO officer about the type of incident they're having, If the type of incident is not severe, such as a welfare check or a fall or something like that, where the person may not be fatally harmed, they might send a sprinter instead of a ambulance because the sprinter will have basic tools and be able to get there the fastest. If the person does not need to be transported, there is no need to send a transport vehicle. So that would possibly be one if a person requested a EMS supervisor. So if they may have believed that an EMS did something along the lines of false care or something wrong, they might request a supervisor, and therefore dispatch would send a sprinter. But if a ambulance may have not had enough tools or may have forgotten a tool at the station that they need a sprinter to provide, the sprinter may go inside, pick it up, and then drive it to the ambulance. In rare cases, both will be sent at the same time because one or the other can complete most jobs.
Does EMS
But
need
when they're
that
both sent
equipment?
together, it's for a valid reason. Ooh, I love this question. So typically during certain shifts, a ambulance will be stationed inside of the MCFR station. The reason they do this is because at certain fires, there will be people trapped inside of a building who may have had burns or may have inhaled smoke. And firemen or first responders are only equipped with BLS, basic life support, and are unable to do most things to help the individual. While EMS are typically BLS and ALS, advanced life support, and they'll be able to not only transport them, but also get the person prepped for any sort of emergency that they may have to do at the hospital. So, like I said earlier, firemen are also called first responders because typically in certain scenarios, the firemen might need to help first, such as a vehicle
Do you
crash
hear
where a
anyone?
person is trapped
Okay.
inside their car, or such as a car who might have fallen into some sort of water, where a ladder may be accessible for a fireman to use
19, I
tools
have
to
eyes
get
on
the person out of the vehicle
the
before help
below
can
of
be
the
administered.
grass or T. Never mind, the car despawned.
You're on PD, right? Do you hear anyone talking off the radio? Well, yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't hear anyone on the primary, so I didn't know.
19, radio check.
Hold on. I said,
1219, you're
is
loud
your
and
call
clear.
sign 1219? Say something. No, I don't hear it. No. Alright, I do see.
Radio check. 19, radio loud and clear.
323, show me your roll call to mechanic.
I became an FTO in the hopes that it would help me not only get a promotion, but also help me train the future of EMS. When I joined EMS, there were not many people, and there still aren't many people, but I'm hoping that my duties as an FTO will assist me in the training and the implementation of new members into the program.
I'm gonna be on Hungerford Drive 105.
I'm just listening for the chase. Please
On the
make sure
job,
you
an
have
FTO can also be seen as a type of supervisor. While we're not a direct supervisor or a active supervisor, we may be able to give certain commands to EMTs and paramedics that will help them in completing the duty. We are also different because we do trainings while EMTs and paramedics will not.
Alright, and I respond to that panic button.
So typically, new EMS will struggle with understanding the importance of vitals because a new EMS will immediately jump into what kind of injuries they have without understanding if the person is having problems with their blood pressure or their breathing or their airway, they'll jump right into what kind of injuries they have instead of checking how the person may be injured, like with their internal stuff.
Maple Mark.
Show me en route to Maple Mart.
So, if I am teaching instead of giving the other person command, I will tell them to watch and be ready in case I need them. The person will be near me at all times. If I need their assistance, they will be there and they'll need to assist me. If I am teaching them, I'll be showing them. So if I'm on a scene and they're there too, I'll be presenting how you would do it, how you would complete the scene. If I need them to help me, I will tell them to help me. But typically, I'll be completing the scene and I'll be showing them what to do.
EMS down.
So, getting it right means you are thorough with your care. You make sure that your wraps are done correctly. You make sure that you have patted the gauze into any wounds correctly. You make sure that the person is actually safe instead of just taken care of. You need to make sure that the person, if they are conscious, make sure that they don't have anything wrong with their mental state, or they make sure that their vitals are correct. Doing it right, just getting it done could mean that you're sloppy with your work. You're just trying to, you rush them to the hospital without understanding if they might have a concussion or if they might have any sort of underlying heart problems that they have. So it might affect how the person gets their care at the hospital and can affect them in the future.
Yes.
218, 10-7, 1040.
How do I give feedback without overwhelming new providers? So if a person does something right, I will let them know. Of course, I'll let them know that whatever they just did is correct and that they should keep doing that. If they do something wrong, I'm going to correct it immediately if it's something major. If it's something minor that isn't going to have a major impact, I will let them finish, and then I'll let them know afterwards that they did something, that they did it wrong. I do this because I don't want to overwhelm them in the situation, because it might cause them to make more mistakes and it might cause them to do something else wrong, and it could be life-threatening to the patient. So that's why if it's non-major, I will let them do it and then I'll let them know afterwards. But if it's major, I'll step in and I'll fix it myself because I should know what to do.
What's the postal again?
What do you mean? Can you rephrase that?
Show me in pursuit of a purple Dodge.
What is the postal where EMS is needed?
I got it. Okay. ABCs immediately. If you're providing patient care, you should be worried about your ABCs: airway, breathing, and circulation.
We're on Montgomery
This is to make sure that the person has airway. You need to make sure that their airway is clear and that they're able to breathe. If they're not able to breathe, that means they're not going to be conscious, and that means they're not going to be able to provide that much care. Breathing, you have to make sure that they're actually breathing normally. And circulation, you have to make sure that they're getting enough blood flow and that their blood pressure is not too high at all. I'm sorry, but I may have to cut this short just a little bit because I have just been called to the waiting room and for a meeting, I believe. Goodbye.